What's up, Renegade Nation? Before we begin the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to our most recent patron saints, Thar Dorwin, Colt Seaman, Julius Urado Jr., Thoher, O.M. Gino, Great on Booth, and Ethan Bergeron. Thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support us on Patreon, feel free to click the link below in the description to find out more. Thanks again. G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another epic rap battles Sarai.
Yeah,
This is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Oh, I'm sorry, where we also have a, was Cousteau French?
Yes.
Oh, he was French, okay. It was like...
I'm gonna be honest, dude.
Oh, bon oui! Welcome to another epic rap battles of history.
I have no idea who this guy is.
Well, he was a
Jacques
nature
Cousteau?
conservationist who specialized in, like, underwater... Like,
He's an oceanographer, his
oceanographer,
technical
Yeah,
occupation.
I never
Yeah.
heard of the guy.
Yeah. We're okay. You know how Steve Irwin was on land, this guy was in the sea. That's pretty much all.
So he was down under.
I've heard his name a lot, but I don't know a lot
No,
about him
he just,
considering how often I've heard
Went
his
over to
name and
people,
stuff.
or went over to sharks and.
He was also a French naval
Manatees.
officer,
Oh yes, actually, I think he was actually.
and he was a
part
filmmaker
of the. I
and a
think
scientist.
he also was part of the low. I think it was him and Don Hood, I believe was the guy's name.
He co-developed the aqualung.
He also went lower. He went deeper in the ocean than almost any man in history.
He went
deep.
deep.
Yeah,
And
I was waiting for
it
you to
says
make
he
that
is the
joke.
pioneer of marine conservation.
Yes.
Cool.
I mean, Jacques Cousteau.
Fukushima
Overall,
pissed him off.
He did a lot of
He was
stuff
dead by that
apparently.
time.
So.
So he was rolling in his grave,
No, he wasn't rolling in his grave. I
floating.
think
in his
maybe
grave?
he was cremated. If he was cremated, then his ashes probably started to simmer
Mhm.
whenever Fukushima happened.
That did not help the ocean.
Dude, not a lot does.
It's still not helping the
Not
ocean.
a lot does. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, we as humanity, we're just like, we're designing a perfect, how to get rid of
Jacques-
plastic straws.
Jacques Cousteau
Like-
died of a heart attack on the 25th of June, 97 in Paris, 2 weeks after his 87th birthday. He was buried in the family vault at
Okay.
Saint Andre de Coubsac,
Okay, so he is rolling
his birthplace.
He is rolling in his grave. As a matter of fact, I think we can hear it now. You walk by his grave, you just hear.
He's rolling in the vault.
I mean, we really treat our oceans like a college freshman's liver.
A homage was paid to him by the town by naming the street which runs out to
mean,
the
we
house of
do.
his birth,
Pump it
Rue
full of
du
terrible
Commandant
stuff.
Cousteau.
I was gonna say we just treat it like a toilet.
Yeah. Take massive dumps.
He got the National Geographic Society Special Gold Medal in '61.
This is an accomplished fellow. Now, did he
Yeah, he
wrestle
did a lot of
alligators?
stuff.
Probably not.
Grand Cross of the National Order of Merit, U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom, induction into the Television Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So Steve Irwin is the statistical underdog in this situation, it sounds like.
Not necessarily. Steve did his own fair amount of stuff, and both men have their own, legacies.
You don't think it's one-sided?
I don't think so, dude.
No, I'm on Steve. I'm on
No,
Team
you ask
Irwin.
most people. You ask most people
Definitely.
nowadays who's more popular, Jacques Cousteau or Steve Irwin.
If it's a popularity contest, then
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, isn't everything nowadays?
pretty much.
Let's be
yeah.
honest. I mean, Kim Kardashian is the dumbest bitch on planet Earth in a lot of facets, but she's a
Actually,
billionaire.
she's pretty smart.
Okay,
'cause
so
No, her mom is smart.
she was able to be like, "How do I get rich?"
No, her
Irwin
mom
actually.
is smart.
Turn that camera on.
Her mom is smart, Chad. She's not.
So her mom was like a porn director for her sex tape.
No, her mom saw the opportunity that came from the same thing that happened with Paris Hilton and said, you know what? We can market this. And plus, my daughter's beautiful. All my daughters are... Actually, I take that back. Less than half of my
What
daughters
are we talking
beautiful.
about now?
The Kardashians.
Why?
Because...
I'm talking about
no.
talking about people with awards, and
Hey,
you're over here
yeah,
talking about the
guess what? You're
Kardashians
not paying
now.
attention. You've got your face buried in your phone instead of contributing to
I'm
the
trying to
conversation.
contribute things that actually matter to what we're
No,
talking
and
about to the
and-
conversation.
In terms of the
Everything's
context
a popularity
God
contest.
damn it! Let me talk. in terms of the context, what we were talking about there, Nick, it did matter because we were talking about this is a popularity contest. And if you judge everything nowadays by popularity contest, then more people know about Steve Irwin than they do Jacques Cousteau. Even though Jacques Cousteau may very well be the more the more accomplished because he lived a lot longer than Steve Irwin. What Steve Irwin accomplished in his short time here
I mean,
on Earth,
that list is
did.
probably a lot more than just because he lived to a certain age. Because there's like 80-year-old people that have never done this stuff.
But I'm talking about in terms of nature conservationists.
Right.
Both men did the exact same thing for a very long period of time. Steve Irwin was able to do it for about 20 to 30 years. Jacques Cousteau did it. How old was he when he died?
87.
So, exactly.
Right.
Twice the amount of time on this earth, and I guarantee you he was one reason why he was able to accomplish so much more.
Steve actually got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He discovered a species of sea turtle and got to name it.
Yeah.
It's called Irwin's turtle. He got the Centenary Medal by the Australian government for his service to global conservation in 2001. He's recognized as a tourism export of the year in 2004. He got the government of Rwanda announced that it would name a baby gorilla after him as tribute to his
That's
work
awesome.
in wildlife conservation. The state government of Kerala, India, named the Crocodile Rehabilitation and Research Center at Nair Wildlife Sanctuary in his honor. Terry objected to this action and has been taken without her permission and asked the Kerala government in 2009 to stop using his name, though. But 2009, he was inducted into the Queensland Business Leaders Hall of Fame. Then he was also given a recipient of the Queensland's Greats Awards. It was announced Irwin would be posthumously honored in 2017 with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And Google released a Google Doodle commemorating him in 2019.
I remember that. And that was also when PETA came after him and everyone just effectively told PETA to go shut the hell up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Steve Irwin had disrupted many of species in their natural habitat. I'm like,
No, it didn't.
and you take up space in this world when it could be going to people who actually do something with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Life's not perfect, PETA. Get over it. Look, all things considered in terms of like modern day popularity, Steve Irwin, I think, has the edge.
You think
See,
so?
I was surprised that you hadn't heard Jacques' name though, because I
Never
definitely
heard of him
heard
before.
Jacques' name.
No, I've heard of Jacques Cousteau. I've
Yeah.
heard of him a
So,
lot.
I mean, he's definitely a famous figure, but like in current era, yeah, probably he's more popular. But I would say if you were to go back like a generation or two, like maybe when Steve Irwin was starting to start his career but hadn't really gotten big yet, a lot of people would say like Jacques Cousteau was a big name that they recognized for sure. So
Well, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that for a second, man.
it might
because-
be a difference of like the time
Well,
they were alive. It would be hard to tell if they were both
Exactly.
alive
Well,
at the
it's
same
just like
time
it's
doing
just
their
like
stuff at the same time.
philosophers.
Pretty
You
much.
see people look at philosophers the same way too. At one point, Socrates was the philosopher. At another point, Plato was the philosopher. Another time, Aristotle. I mean, it's just going down the line. There's people whose legacy lasts forever, which I think we both have here. But in terms of the modern day lexicon, Steve Irwin is still fresh in a lot of people's brains because everybody remembers the Crocodile Hunter.
Well, we grew up watching him.
Exactly. We grew up and every time we heard someone say crikey, we were like, Steve. Just like Steve Irwin. There you go. And to see where his son is going too. His son looks like he is both of his children. They look like they're both on the exact same path as their dad because they are both turning into great nature conservationists in their own right. And I hope they achieve great things because, their dad was gone way too early, and I think them continuing on his legacy will add to a great amount of conservation in the world and help a lot of species and help people become more aware of the effect that we have on the world and everything. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, that's the thing about legacy, and yeah, we could talk about this all day and night, but at the same time, it's just like, both of these men are gone, but
But you know what it really comes down to?
what's that?
Who wins an epic rap battle of history?
I guess. Anyway, let's get this on screen, and let's see what happens. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I smell something delicious.
Jacques Cousteau versus Steve Irwin. Jacques Cousteau, here to speak. Invented scuba scuba captain the Calypso, bomb winning documenter of the ocean, ready to battle a desperate, sweaty shoal. You're chunky and soft, you get on my nerve. You're the only manatee I don't want to conserve. My life aquatic was adventure and beauty. I'm so cool, Bill Murray played me in the movie. I have Oscars,
true.
you're not a Doolittle too, so run back home to your daddy's zoo. And just to be clear, cause I'm no veterinarian, were you killed by a fish kid's pet at the aquarium? Holy smokes, what a place to go! You need a submarine for a blowout. You better run, you better take cover, cause crikey, I'm going for Croc the shotgun. Yeah, look at this salty fella. His face looks like it's made of pure leather. Look out, got the body of a naked mole rat. He's cranky cause he has to wear a Papa Smurf hat. I'm a wild man. Gary, sub dude. The only Crocs you could handle are some slip-on shit. Crikey, you're such a boring guy. You could make a whole show about the ocean dry. But with the Sheilas, you sure had fun. Your mistress was as young as your firstborn son. You never should have stepped to a wildlife defender. Embrace your French nature and quietly surrender. Better watch what you say now. You almost turned yours into outback mistake. Would you rather talk about your brother? Boy, Nazi. Oi. Enough of your antics and madness. Contain yourself like my underwater breathing apparatus. You're a joke of a bloke in a tacky khaki romper. Go grope a nope rope, crocodile humper. It's a type of snail recently discovered and named after you. I'll eat them with butter. Skippy, the bush league kangaroo. Hold the D, I'm crocodile done with you. Where you going, fella? Hang on a minute. Like a joey in a pouch, this ain't quite finished. Take a look how destructive your old films are. Silent World, more like Silent World Star. If you want to count fish, please take the reef tour. Don't go throwing C4 on the seafloor. I'm the gold medal rhymer on the podium, cleaning you up like a Jacques Cousteau. I'm Mother Nature's greatest conservationist. When I rock the mic, I'm dangerous. So go back down under with your crew. I just blew through you like a didgeridoo.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
Steve Irwin, bro.
I think Irwin took that one.
Yeah, I think he killed him with that last verse for sure.
Yeah.
When he hit him with the underage mistress line, that was
that too.
Yeah,
that was the
underage
nail in the
mistress,
coffin for me.
The brother being a Nazi.
I mean, that was just
Yeah, that
extra.
doesn't help.
He was served up after that underage mistress line.
Yeah, Look,
You can't argue with the facts.
no, you can't. Here's what I'll say: both men did great things, but they were both human. I mean, Steve admitted to a lot of his mistakes that he made in terms of like certain handlings of certain species of things, and also he admitted that he was that he needed to be more careful, but he took that advice a little bit too late, unfortunately. I mean, it still sucks, man, because it's been 10 years since that incident,
And it's one of those things that is a tragedy, but it's also one of those things that is just so bizarre. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was a stingray.
Of all the things in the world that guy did, that's the one that he paid the ultimate price for.
Well, it's just
Right.
like Forrest Bondurant. Forrest Bondurant got his throat slit, got shot 7 times. Guy died of pneumonia. I mean, you never know what's going to take you.
Yeah.
I mean, and
It's like being a professional like skydiver or something, and then like you die because you trip up the stairs going into the plane and hit your head on the stair.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Like you're a world-class scuba diver, and all this and all that, and you slip and fall in the bathtub and break your neck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like Jesus, man.
But I kind of halfway expected, like I always kind of halfway expect people that mess with dangerous animals to eventually have either a bad injury or get killed by one. But like Steve was one of those ones
here we
I was
are.
like, I don't think anything's ever going to happen to him because I just feel like he knows what he's doing, but it just shows nature is
Yeah,
completely
it was a
unpredictable.
big surprise, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and he almost never got himself involved with stuff that he was unfamiliar with. And from what I heard, he'd swam with stingrays before and never had anything.
Hell, I think it's a common thing for people to do.
Yeah, and it's just that one time he's at the wrong angle and its tail whips back and that's it.
What the hell, man?
I don't know. And I really would like to I'd really like to think that if Steve were still here, if he would have swam to the left instead of swimming to the right, and it would have like grazed his arm or got him like that, and he'd still be here with us. But
I mean, even if it had hit him like in the other side of his chest, maybe he'd still be okay.
yeah, because it pierced his heart.
Yeah.
That's what killed him. It got his
really,
heart.
though?
And it
That's
also
pretty
pulled
deep.
it out, which caused him to bleed
Yeah.
out pretty quickly.
Well, it is deep, but at the same time, people survive gunshots to the abdomen all the time.
Oh, I know.
So if he would have gotten hit almost anywhere else, save for here and here, he would have probably been okay. Because the human body can survive on one lung until they can reinflate this one and patch it up. A liver shot, that's pretty much... You're more likely to... The heart's almost instant.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one that got him. But the liver, that'd probably be the most second deadly place to be hit in the abdomen. And then pretty much anywhere else, I mean, he would have been fairly fine. But
Oh, he would have probably been fucked up, but he wouldn't have died.
oh yeah, he would have
Jesus,
he'd have
man.
probably walked out of the water just kind of. It could have gone better. Sorry about that. Gotta get myself patched up and go swimming right back out there.
Or,
I'm pretty sure stingrays are venomous too, though.
Yeah.
So he would
Wait,
have
did you just
needed
go
some
like
anthem
full
down,
Will Smith?
probably.
yeah, just,
Aren't stingrays aren't stingrays venomous?
I believe.
they're fucking murderers is what they are.
Oh no, they're just
Peter can kiss
they're
my
just
ass.
animals in
That
their
is the
environment.
last thing he would have ever wanted you to think about.
No,
stingrays.
they're just animals in their environment. It to me.
Yeah, it is a venomous stinger. So I don't know if it's like because venom can range from like you're dead in a couple hours to like that hurts. Like,
Well, yeah.
So I don't
if
really know
it's
how
a
venomous they
if it's
are.
If it's a pure pain one, a pain-inducing one to ward off predators.
So apparently, although being pierced by the stingray spawn is painful, it's rarely life-threatening to humans.
Okay,
So
so
I think he would have been okay if he hadn't got hit
Just
in the
crazy in just the wrong
Just-
spot.
heart. Yeah,
exactly, and
That's just it's your time to go type thing.
I guess, and
But we did not want to let him go.
no, and I still don't. I mean, it's been 10 years since then, man, and I know that his kids are doing great things, and his son is a spitting image of him. That you should actually see the photo that someone took. It was Steve 10 years ago, and his son, pretty much doing the exact same thing, luring this crocodile with a piece of meat. They both had the same exact technique. They both had the same big old smile on their face, same feathered blonde hair, and same outfit. And it's just,
I mean, you would have to be
like,
tripping, dude. You'd have to be tripping or absolutely love it to death to do something like that.
And
If
he
you
loved it.
didn't, If you didn't have a supreme passion about messing with crocodiles and,
He did.
I mean,
He
you
did
bet-
have a
like the
supreme
dude on
passion.
Cowboy Bebop, doing crazy shit. Just
Oh yeah, Piero LaFoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you see, that's a different kind of thing. You see, some people do it for the sheer pleasure of it to themselves. Steve did it, I think, because he genuinely wanted to. He genuinely wanted to help. He genuinely wanted to help people. Same thing with Jacques. They both wanted to help. You see, if they wanted fame and fortune, then they had just done like Jackass and have like a little baby croc bite their nipple or something like that.
let's not bring Wild Boys into this.
Okay. Or they could have done all sorts of dumb stuff, but instead they lured people in with the sense of security that especially Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin lured people in with this lowered sense of security that all of a sudden it was just like, oh, whoa, something bad could happen here if he's not careful. And not only that, we were lured in by that, but we were enticed by everything that he was saying and everything that he was doing, because he was not only educating us, he wasn't only entertaining us, he was educating us.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of a new form of edutainment. And you see, it's just like how Animaniacs pulled it off. I mean, when you watched Animaniacs, you learned who the presidents were, the states and the capitals. You learned all the nations of the world and everything, and they were very clever and inventive songs. And
I mean, it's a testament. Like, I don't know about everybody, but most people, I think, I know I really like learning stuff while I'm being entertained.
I do too.
Like,
I
I
do too.
really
I mean-
like getting some extra like knowledge out of something that I'm also watching just because it's fun to watch.
Sorry, there was some gnat flying around.
Yeah, I know. I've been attacking him. I've been getting my Steve Irwin on.
So I started watching a guy on YouTube a while back called Viper Keeper.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
I went into that channel being like, this guy has a death wish, and he is a moron. And the more I watched, the more I started to respect him, and the more I realized he knows what he's doing. And I was like, this guy will be dead in 3 months. And it's been probably like half a year or more since I started watching him, and he's still putting out videos, and he still owns, I think, something like 200 some venomous snakes, like from all around the world. Like.
Damn.
And,
Somebody's got to love those critters.
Yeah, I mean, it gave me a new appreciation for venomous snakes. I think they're very cool from watching his videos. You know, previously I thought they were a little bit creepy, but now I'm just like, dude, venomous snakes are pretty cool. I probably wouldn't want to mess with one myself, you know, like, but
That's me.
I really respect learning about them and seeing somebody who knows what they're doing, like, take care of them and stuff.
Well, same thing with Coyote Peterson. Coyote Peterson,
Yeah.
Brave Wilderness. I mean, the shit that he does is absolutely nuts. Going out there and finding the bullet ant and getting bitten by it, it's like crazy.
Well, he's doing that for both, obviously, entertainment purposes, because you're like, this dumbass just let himself got stung by something. I was like, I'm totally gonna watch that.
Stupid for getting stung, which he is kind of stupid for getting stung, but at the same time,
when you realize why he's doing it,
Yeah.
he's like, we have this pain index, but it's just written by one guy. I want to actually go and tell you guys about it and let you experience this firsthand, and that's very, very cool. That's something that we don't get to experience anywhere else, and we only got to experience that thanks to Coyote, and like, that's really cool. It was a cool idea, and I'm glad that he had the nuts to take on that challenge
Glad
to
he
let
didn't do
everybody
it
see
with
what
his nuts.
that's like, and
Oh.
tell everybody what it's like, you know.
Well, again,
obviously.
Chad, don't bring up the Wild Boys.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I respect the Wild Boys because they did crazy shit. Like, they did the bullet ant thing, but they did the ceremony with those people where they put the thing on their hands
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And but they just did stuff like that with animals that I thought was funny because it gives you a more than average perspective on how they can jack you up. You got to have respect for wild animals, and that's why there's a lot of them that I like to watch shows about and everything, and really respect and think they're beautiful and they're great. I don't want a personal relationship with these things.
Yeah,
I do not
Yeah.
want personal experience. I don't want to interact with them personally. I will
Joe
watch it
Rogan-
on-
But it's cool that they exist.
Joe
Yeah.
Rogan said something a long time ago on his podcast. I think it was in like the first 100 of them. He said, "Dude, I love Africa, and I'm so happy that Africa exists because of all this crazy shit. But it can suck my dick. I am not going
Yeah.
there."
No.
I'm like, yeah, I agree.
And all
'Cause-
respect to Steve Irwin, but Australia, I'm not going there either, bro.
Dude,
Well-
black mambas are metal as fuck, but I don't want to be anywhere near where one might be out in the wild and I can run into it. So.
No thanks.
Yeah, that is unless you got a pet mongoose.
Yeah, I don't even think I'd trust the mongoose, man. Like,
Oh, dude, people have mongoose for pets all the time.
Yeah.
no, I mean,
People
I
have
wouldn't
tigers for pets.
trust it to
Yeah.
save me from the black mamba. Is what I'm saying. You
Well,
know,
it's their
just-
natural. Well, they're natural predators. Or
I know they are, but just like the one time the mongoose just tuckered itself out and was taking too heavy of a nap, and I get bit before it
Yeah.
wakes up to kill the snake.
I would not trust it to be anything more than a distraction for me to haul
I'd have to
out.
have like 17 mongooses if I was living down there in
Team,
my house
a whole
to feel
unit.
safe.
Yeah.
Mongoose Team 7.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. That's good.
The Fellowship of the Mongoose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick of mongoose. Oh God.
One old Gandalf mongoose.
It's just like,
You shall not pass.
yeah, it just stands up on his hind legs, just like whips his tail up and everything. He's like, "You shall not pass."
Their fights are pretty acrobatic with snakes.
dude.
They're like,
Yeah, it's cool.
it's
Bringing
because their
around.
agility is ridiculous. Their agility is.
I feel like
is
those little dudes
ridiculous.
have to see shit in slow motion.
Well,
Yeah.
they do. Well, they've actually done tests and they've shown that the reaction time of the mongoose is almost the fastest of any mammal on planet Earth.
it would have to be for them to be like, fuck it, come on, snake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and they also
Snakes
use
are
their
some of the
tail.
fastest striking creatures.
They also
that
use
exist,
their tails very effectively too. Their tails, they actually whip dust at the snake to distract it and all that. I mean, they're smart little
Sandstorm
bastards.
is a head or a
Pocket sand.
mongoose move.
Yeah, effectively.
They're Pokemon in real life.
Effectively, yeah. They hop up, whip their
Sandstorm.
tail down, and throw dust right up at the snake. The snake like gets dust in its eyes and goes back. Mongoose gets around it, hops on its head, snaps its neck. Done. It's like watching an athlete complete something absolutely astounding. I mean, for instance, it's like watching Travis Pastrana pull off the double backflip, the first person ever to pull off the double backflip. It's just like what, like, damn. What else can you watch? Like, what else can you say other than
Yeah, they
wow.
can do crazy shit with their bodies.
Yeah.
Both Travis Pastrana and Mongoose.
Yeah. So I just compared Travis Pastrana to a mongoose. Hell yeah.
Sure, I'm down with that.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone on and on and on about this. This was a very interesting epic rap battle of history. This was Jacques Cousteau versus Steve Irwin. My God, both of these men have accomplished a great amount of things in their lives. I mean, help with nature conservation and everything.
Oh, and yet again, on-point costumes.
Yes.
Always love their costumes.
Very on point with the costumes. I mean, I got to be honest. Looking at Lloyd as Steve Irwin, I'm just like,
Well,
that's
it's like,
actually like really convincing.
people show up to Halloween parties
Pretty good.
trying to dress as people like Steve Irwin, and you have to ask them. It's like, oh, you're like a zookeeper? No, well, I'm Steve Irwin. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. They have to tell you. He could
Yeah.
show up like that and be like, oh, shit, Steve Irwin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, altogether, this is a very well put together ERB, and for the final verdict, in my eyes, Steve Irwin.
Yeah, Steve Irwin.
You would have to not be able to understand English to not think that those lines were just complete magma. Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah. Fire.
Fire.
God.
Fire.
Easy there, Beavis. All right. So anyway, thank you all very much for tuning in. And if you want to see more from Epic Rap Battles of History, or ERB, feel free to head down to their Patreon. It's actually right below in the video. You get patreon.com/ERB. And if you want to support them so they can continue to put out awesome rap battles like this, all day, man. All day, every day. Help support them. I mean, I've supported them ever since I heard they were going solo with their stuff, which I'm very proud of them for, because that they're finally escaping under the crux of Maker Studios and instead doing their own thing. And I can't wait to see what else they bring to the table with this season. And also, congratulations, Epic Rap Battles of History, because, you know, I mean, everything you've accomplished so far. I mean, Lloyd, Peter, if you ever do see this, I mean, they have commented on our videos before. They, like, Lloyd directly, and the ERB2 channel has commented on our video as well. It's just like, yeah. So, again, congratulations, and I hope that you all experience continued success, and you all continue to put out shit like this, because, yeah, awesome. Awesome all around.
I want a Steve Irwin mixtape. That would make me happy.
Yeah, I could see that.
Hell yeah.
I know a song that he could do. The Thunder from Down Under.
Thunder from Down Under.
They call me the Thunder from Down Under. Steve Irwin. I could see it. It could work.
I like him to just do a song called Black Mamba.
Black Mamba.
It's like
Black like, I can't do an Australian accent, although he called it a mamba.
Black Mamba.
Yeah.
It's a Black Mamba, mate.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
For God's sakes, it's not
Black Mamba.
like,
Yeah.
it's not rocket science. It's actually, it is a bit rocket science. I mean, especially if you want to fly down under, it's best to take a rocket ship, because, you know, it's the fastest way to get down there.
Have a hard time on a whale.
Yeah, of course, having a hard time on a whale, but yeah, of course, if you go to Brisbane or you go to Sydney, go to the Opera House. Oh, yeah, have some fun.
What a
down
beautiful
there.
voice.
Not really. I mean, I don't got much of a voice at all. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of certain ages, hope you enjoyed this epic rap battle of history. If you want to support us, the Renegades, feel free to head down there to the description where we have our Patreon, where we will be completing projects and having a bunch of fun. Hopefully it... Okay, I think I broke Chad with my Aussie
I've been trying
accent.
to hold it together. Y'all don't know what I've been going through.
Yeah. My Aussie accent is powerful. All right. So anyway, thank you all very much for tuning in. And until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chad.
And we will see you all in the next one. Peace out.